Hello, everyone. My name is Edith, also known as the Lady E, and welcome to the Lady E Effect podcast. So, today I'm excited. We have a really special guest today, and as I stated before, we are expanding the areas of where we interview our guests. So, I'm super excited to speak with this man and just share with our audience just amazing insight on different topics we'll talk about today. So I will give you the floor and just, introduce us and let us know who you are and just share with us what you'd like us to know.
Thank you so much, Eddie, for having me into your, podcast. Yeah. So quickly to the introduction. My name is Elphas Saizi from Kenya, somewhere in East Africa. So I'm a marketing professional. Been in the industry for a while, for a couple of years, working with both clients and within the continent and internationally. So my work generally involves connecting up with people and trying to assist them in their own personal branding, as well as trying to get their businesses to the market that they're targeting, across whichever point of contact that they select, or in regions that are so specific to the kind of sectors that they deal in. Yeah, so that is a brief information about me for now.
Well, thank you so much for just joining us today and coming on our platform. And we're really excited to just get some insight on a lot of interesting topics we'll talk about today. So, first things first, I just want to go into the area of your profession. When it comes to marketing, that is something that in businesses in general is extremely essential. So, of course, when you get into business, you want to have a business plan, you want to have everything um, structured when it just comes to the execution of what you're looking forward to do when it comes to pursuing your business. But, when it comes to all the steps, you know, the traffic, the marketing is, it's the meat when it comes to the entree. So I wanted to dive deep in that, and I wanted to ask you if you don't mind sharing with the audience a little bit more when it comes to marketing, because I think when people listen to marketing, they're just like, oh, I just want to get this out to the people. But I don't think they really understand like the depth of it and just the series of things that really take place when it comes to marketing. So my first question for you today is, if there was someone that was interested in the marketing industry, but they didn't have too much insight on it, what is some information that you would like to share with the audience in terms of marketing and how someone would like to get started?
Yeah, so technically, for somebody who doesn't have much, insight on what marketing is all about, to make it more clear, to that person who doesn't, not that they do not know what marketing is. The word sounds so familiar, but in general, this is how I would summarize it. So marketing is more, it's quite dynamic, but it comes down to, promoting services and products, for both individuals, for companies. But the most aspect of marketing that many people know is, for promoting products and services, right? So when we come to individuals, marketing has another definition that we call personal branding, right? So your outlook as an individual. But then on the business side, now we do not talk about, just the outlook, but we talk about the service provision, right? So what are we going to resonate the company with? What kind of product or services they offer that we want to know them for, which eventually converts to sales, right? That is the eventual goal of every marketing activity. So in general, I would want to summarize marketing as basically involving advertising. That is another common word, branding, as I have said, and social media. Social media is, we have these platforms, the social media platform, but a lot of marketing happens there. So many people are familiar with what we call social media marketing. That is, so anybody can do, with or without experience. But the three that I mentioned summarizes what marketing is: advertising, branding, and social media. That is the general scope of what marketing entails. From a layman's point of view.
No, we appreciate you sharing that because whether you're a business owner or not, it's important to know these things, you know. Marketing, I believe, in a nutshell, goes hand in hand with technology in terms of just, the different areas and how, really detailed and oriented it is. You know, it's not just, hey, I have a brand and look, everyone, here's a commercial about it. Like there's very significant things like SEO, right? That's something that, a lot of people don't know too much about that. And speaking of that, I actually want to dive in that space a little bit. So again, if I were to stay in the area of marketing, but in terms of SEO and just going a little bit deeper in terms of how marketing is just so essential. How would you describe SEO for those that don't know anything about that?
Uh, SEO basically, okay, it sounds like it looks like actually it's a technical term, right? It's one of the verticals in marketing that we always term as we categorize it with the website marketing, right? So when you look at the categories of marketing, of course, social media marketing is as an online marketing subsect or a vertical. So under social media marketing, we have various verticals as well. So SEO is among the verticals of social media marketing. So there's content marketing, there is email marketing, and then we have things like now the ACO or what we call SEM. Sometimes it's called SEM or SEO. So basically, it involves trying to tailor make keywords for your website to be able to make you more searchable or more listed on the browsers or search platforms. So, for example, if you have a business that maybe deals in, for example, fashion or maybe selling fast moving commercial goods, maybe food stuff or something, but then in your area, definitely there are a variety or a lot of competitors, doing the same product that you do or the same service that you do. So the essence of getting an SEO expert is to be able to, generate for you keywords that are so unique to your service provision field or category or sector to make you be searchable whenever a customer or any user of the web or any browser being Google or Amazon, Google, Yahoo, any browser that is there that you use, depending on the location you are or the kind of restriction that is in your country. I believe each and every country has various browsers that they use. But generally, when we're looking at web analytics, SEO basically, or in simple understanding, involves making your website be ranked at the top, by using specific keywords that align to what you offer and that will topple down, competitors in terms of ranking, so that whenever somebody looks at maybe buying shoes, for example, they say I want to buy a black shoes or a Jordans, but then your store or your company offers the same, but you have a website. So the kind of set keywords that had been done, by the experts makes your website appear fast, so that this person could be able to look at your website and maybe make a purchase or just have a see through or leave a comment or whichever. But the main goal here is directed to getting a lead, right? It's always a lead generation channel or funnel
Yeah.
for you to eventually close in a sale. So it looks like a technical word, but yeah, it's technical in the whole aspect, in terms of setting it up. But then the end product or the end result, is more like user oriented, right, or user friendly. Because for me as a customer, when I want to, look up something, maybe I go on Google and I want to say I need a shoe costing maybe $40 to $50 or up to $100, then in your store you have that range of shoes. Then it's gonna appear, based on the certain keywords that I've set using the experts that I had, so that it makes an easy decision, for the customer to land on my page. So
Yeah.
that is SEO in summary.
I appreciate you sharing
Yeah.
those details because that's important. Like you said, like it's technical, but it's not as technical once you understand, the details behind the words and like how important and essential it is to you, not just as a business owner, but as a customer, but as business owners, we're people first. So, when it comes back to words like branding, we're making that relatable connection with our audience and with our clientele and for people that are very like-minded, right? To us as far as, who we are and what we have to give to the world. So if I can ask one more
Yeah.
question.
So
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, can I? Yeah. So basically, it's you know SEO, also another way that it could really be well comprehended is, some of these web platforms or browsers, they do have certain algorithms that they were tailored to, right? So SEO is simply trying to conform with that kind of algorithm, right? So to make you be able to be at the top of every search. So simply that is it, to make it less technical, right? So the websites and the websites where or rather the landing pages, they have their own algorithm. But now the SEO approach is to make you, match that algorithm to be able to showcase your website on top of others. So simply it's that, playing around the algorithm, using keywords and so on and so forth.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate you sharing all that because, yeah, these are things that, again, we have to understand, not just as, entrepreneurs and business owners, we have to understand it like everyday people because, we are the audience, we are the clientele, we are the target. We all are customers to something
Yeah.
one way or
Yeah.
another. So,
Yeah.
understanding that language and the lingo when it comes to these technical words that are just simply words and phrases that just need to be broken down and understood, it's important to just, share this insight, whether you're in this industry or not. Everything that we do in this lifetime, especially when it comes to our professional and purposeful work and practicing, again, technology, marketing, these are so tied into that. And marketing, nobody would be in business if you didn't have marketing. No one would be in business if you didn't have those relatable, technical, practicing and approaches so people can be able to know that you exist as business owners, right? Know that you exist as someone that is trying to advertise products or services that is catered to the needs of that problem that we are looking to solve as business owners. Because we're in business owners, we're in business to solve problems. It's not just about revenue, it's not about being successful. No business is successful without change and transformation. And these things occur when it comes to solving problems. So if I can shift into another category, one other um I have one other question I want to ask before I shift. So if there's three things that you would like to recommend for someone that reaches out to you and say, "Hey, I'm looking to get into the marketing industry. I know a little bit of information, but not too much." What are three key topics or three key things that you would like to share with that person that would look to move forward in the marketing space?
Right. So to be able to quite well, grasp the question. So do you mean that, for somebody who wants to get into marketing as, a consultant, or somebody who wants to get into marketing, through getting to market their service or product? So which is which? So is it as a professional or from a standpoint of a business owner?
So a business owner that is in their early stages of business and they're looking to move forward in the marketing industry, what are three key topics that you would share with them for those that are looking to excel in the industry?
Okay, I think the very first thing that anybody who is aspiring to be, to get into the marketing should do is number one, it takes a lot of investing in, certain skills, right? So like, when of course we already have, social media platforms. Of course, there's social media marketing. It's a free platform that you can always market into, but there are a little bit of technicalities that you need to know, such things as SEO that we talked about right here. It's not something you'd wake up and say, okay, so I would really need to take maybe to market products on social media, but then it's just not about posting and putting out content, but there are a little bit of technicalities that you really need to know, maybe setting up ads as well. So that is a key skill that you really need to learn. So it doesn't cost much these days. So YouTube is free for some of these skills, right? And another thing I would want to talk about is be so specific with the kind of approach you want to go with in terms of marketing. For example, if you are a business owner and maybe you belong to a certain industry, so there's some types of marketing activities or processes that you should want to concentrate on more than the rest, right? So, for example, if somebody who is in the fashion industry, entertainment industry, right? So, a lot of social media marketing would be your top priority. And in the social media space, we have key platforms like TikTok and Instagram, right? So, platforms like Twitter are not a good place for you at the moment, and maybe platform like Facebook, because we're looking at the platforms that are more focused on, images and videos, right? Because you want to showcase a brand new cloth line, or you want to showcase a brand new shoes or a brand new kind of a fashion trend. So trying to be so specific and specializing in the channel to use is a key thing as well.
Mhm.
And number three, the last one, what somebody who wants to get into marketing should know, it's that they should be willing to be patient, right? Because marketing is a continuous activity. It's not like many expect it to to work like a miracle. Like I do this today and tomorrow I get results. So patience is key in this space, and it's a continuous journey. So you're going to have to do a lot of trial and error on the way, to see what works. You're going to have to spend budgets to see what works and what doesn't work, and it would help you, cut down on various channels of marketing or budgeting as well. So
Right.
anybody who gets into it fast never gets it right, even me personally. So it was a range of trial and error, getting to do more research, getting to know what works and what doesn't work, and drop what has to be dropped and continue with what has to to be done. So that's why I'm saying it's a journey, and it's something that is not gonna work like miracle. So patience is a key element in this space.
Absolutely. Just even with that last, point that you made, patience in general is challenging, but it's very necessary and essential in any aspect of development, personal development, business development, community development. You need to have patience, and you need to be willing to understand that, you know, real failure is a part of success because you have to test out, things to see what works and what doesn't work. Everything is not supposed to work, or else you wouldn't have a problem to
Sure.
solve. So,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. All the points that you made, it puts so much in perspective, and we appreciate you sharing that because there are people that are either already in the marketing, looking to get into the marketing space, because there's marketing in general, there's digital marketing, there's different aspects of marketing with that too. So we appreciate you sharing that. So, if I can shift topics for a second, definitely wanted to highlight the fact that, you are from Kenya and you live in Kenya. And that is something that is very essential, especially with you being a businessman, an African man, of course, a man of color. Would you like to share with the audience? some memories or key things that stand out to you in regards to being born and raised and living in Kenya and just operating from a business aspect as well as, what you believe is something is important to share with the audience as far as being an African man living in Africa actively, doing a lot of great things that you do. What would you like to share with the audience in regards to that?
Okay. Yeah. So you'd said it. So yeah, I was born in Kenya, still live in Kenya today, 20 something years later. And I think Africa generally, being able to, come, grow and undergo a lot of, obstacles to be where you are, business, could be a certain profession, as an employee or employer. But generally, the outlook of Africa, it's never an easy place to make it in. That's why you look at the statistics and see there's a number of, immigration from Africa. People are looking for opportunities because there's kind of a failing backyard, back here. But the few who learn the dynamics, are able to survive, in business or in jobs or in any activity that they want to do to enable them, excel in the field that they choose. So even for every businessman or woman or entrepreneur back here, so it's a matter of going through a rigorous process, trying to, uh, you're haunted with a lot of stiff or rather tough regulatory processes around, and the current political situations in different African countries, it's so quite different in each and every country, here in Kenya as well, and just generally a lot of challenges here and there, so it's never walk in the park. So excelling here needs kind of a clear cut determination, and looking up every time whenever you are faced with an obstacle or failure. So you tend to learn to get up from every knock that you experience along the way. It's only through resilience that many or the few that remain behind are able to, make it to, where they are today. You look at most key African people who have excelled in their fields, and you look at their background story. So it's the same as, what I'm giving. It's only that the extent of it is different from, where they come from. We also have those who made it through, in an easy way, from point A to point B. There was no obstacle or anything. So there's been a lot of support, a lot of, free flow uh, for the few. But majority is, the kind of mountain that I'm trying to describe here. So it's still not easy yet, and that's why there's a lot of seeking of external opportunities, outside the continent and the country itself. And so it only takes you as an individual to, sit down and say that, okay, this is my country and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it right from where I am, right from, within my country. So it's not about patriotism or anything. It's just about you as a person. You're just saying that, okay, this is my country and this is what I do. This is what I'm used to. I'm used to a lot of people here. Being an entrepreneur or a business person, you have to be a people. Uh, uh, you have to get to create that connection with people, right? You have to be a people person,
Yeah.
right? You have to be connecting with a lot of people. You can connect with a lot of people externally while you're here, right? So currently that's what I'm doing, in trying to grow and develop in my sector right now, in what I'm doing, the marketing space. So I believe, in the mindset, I believe that I can be able to do business with somebody in the US or in Europe or in Asia while I'm here. You know, I really don't need to travel to, get engaged with some of these guys in terms of maybe closing a deal or getting into a serious conversation like the one we are having currently. So yeah, so it all depends on what you really want to achieve, right? And remember, I said it's not a matter of patriotism as well, because patriotism comes with a lot of sacrifices as well, because you tend to look at it and see that, okay, I want to be patriotic to a country that is also fair to me as well, right? A country that has opportunities, a country that is providing, you know, accommodative regulations as well to do business, right? So, for example, in the business space, if you do your research very well, it's so hard doing business in Kenya right now, especially in Nairobi, city where I am right now. There's a lot of high taxation, tough regulations here and there. But then you sit down and do your calculation and say that, okay, so there are those uh, obstacles, but then for me, I think I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it, right? Without breaking the law that much, but then you just have to create an insisting personality within you, making your mind be that of a warrior, where you tend to face everything that comes before you head on, without fear or favor of anything or anybody. So that is a slight walkthrough of a typical Kenyan or African entrepreneur currently, if I may, put it down in a few words as I have.
That's amazing. We appreciate you sharing that. Again, you are one of our first international guests, and we love the fact that you're from the eastern part of Africa too. Africa is a continent. It's not a country, it's a continent, and it's full of amazing, amazing countries of just beautiful people, very intelligent, very, articulate and very intentional about just life and just when it comes to just what we offer, right? God is our Lord and Savior, and He is the reason why we're here. So, to be able to be blessed with life itself, that's his gift to us. And what we give back to the world is our gift back to him. So, being intentional about helping others, being intentional about being of service to others, solving problems and things like that, these things contribute towards personal development as well as community transformation, which here at the Lady E Effect, that is our mission to change, to transform, to contribute, community unity, right? And things that can allow us to break generational curses, heal from trauma, be able to excel not just in finance, but in our health, in our mental health, right? Our the nutritional aspect of our physical health as well. So all of these things, and when you add the professional word of it, the technology, the marketing, a lot of things like these parts all have their significance as far as how it contributes to the bigger part. So we really appreciate you for coming on here and just sharing with us your insight on just, business and entrepreneurship and the importance of just being relatable and forming that necessary connection when it comes to, the people and creating that trusted relationship with your customers, because your customers are not just your customers. They're people that, like branding, you're sharing a personal layer of yourself in a sense. And you're providing that open space for the audience to connect with you, for people that are like-minded or, maybe don't have a voice or feel comfortable to, maybe find a way to relate to someone that can, speak on their behalf or speak on ways that they're learning how to express themselves. Things like marketing, things like commercials, things like branding, things like advertising, togetherness, and, how you articulate your dialogue, in terms of not just a personal level, but also, a business level. So, us as business owners, we have a responsibility all over the world to, help God's people heal, help God's people have their problems solved in various forms, whether it's marketing, healthcare, the list goes on. So it's definitely very necessary to have these conversations. So, I have two more questions before we round out. So, my second to last question for you is, we always talk about purpose on here, but I want to go even further. You talked a lot about solving problems and just the necessity of it. So you being in Kenya and you being an African man, born in Africa, raised in Africa, but also actively living there the majority of your time. What is something that you would say is a major problem that if you had, the resources and the tools to solve it, what would be that problem that you believe is necessary to resolve immediately?
In Africa or
Yes.
in a space, in a specific space?
In general, as far as, you know, being in the Maryland, DC, and Virginia area, but also being a Nigerian woman, a Nigerian Igbo woman, I'm appreciative of growing up in the area where the diversity is there. And that's why I'm grateful to have this platform because although there's a lot of things going on, there's a lot of problems that need to be solved. So one thing, if I were to answer that question that I'm laying out to ask you, what is one of the main problems that I believe needs resolution, I would say trauma, people healing from their trauma and people learning how to be able to really surrender it to God and learn how to move forward in their personal development so they can be able to achieve success, not just in aspects of money, but in aspects of learning how to heal and make wiser decisions in their personal development. So, if I were to ask you, what is a major problem that you believe needs resolution? What do you believe that is?
Okay, of course, I want to speak from an African point of view, right? Because this is where I am, right? And
Yes.
as a young person, or as a young professional, I've worked with various organizations, when it comes to problem solving. So I would want to point out a major problem that I ever saw or witnessed, as a young professional. And the key problem, right now that I see every young African face is, unemployment right now. So, of course, there are a lot of factors that lead to that, right? When looking at matters of education, when you're looking at factors like less adoption of skills, and I'm talking about tech skills, so rather the 21st century employable skills, right? So the biggest problem, from a wide point of view is, youth and unemployment. That is a big crisis right now. And while working with an organization back in, a few years and during COVID-19 period, that is when I saw the extent of the issue, right? So it's just not about looking at, what the government is doing in terms of getting young people out of, poverty and getting them jobs to be able to put, bread on the table. But I would want to look at it from a point where let us, young people get together and help, solve these problems, starting with me and, many others like me. So the key issue or problem that I would, if I would, get much, motivation to solve, of course, I'm working on it as we speak, is the part of, the young African, informed, and then, even if they don't get a formal employment, but at least the main goal is to make them, be their own bosses, right? That is self-employment. Yeah. So, what the key to that, or what's going to lead to that, is to be able to equip them, with some of the soft skills, some of the tech skills, that some of us professionals already are well acquainted with, to be able to pass it on to them, right? So, for example, doing things like, free social media marketing trainings, to young Africans in colleges or universities or in institutions, just to be able to, let them know that, this is a free gift, that is given to us to give to you, so that you can be able to go and tell somebody that, okay, so I learned a few things in email marketing, in SEO, in content marketing that I can really help your business with. And that is gonna get them a gig, in terms of self-employment and so on and so forth. So I believe, to me, because I'm not, I don't want to look at it from a personal a problem catalog, my own personal problem, but I'm looking at a general population, because I might solve all my problems, but then I live within people who still have a bulk of problems within. So, and for us to move, because I can not only contribute to an economic growth as an individual, but when we are many, we can create an impact towards the economy, and that starts with converting the unemployed youth from unemployment, to getting be their own bosses, or get gigs, or just have some tech skills that they can sell in exchange for resources, right? So I think, to me, that is the biggest I could work on solving. Of course, teaming up with other great-minded and ambitious other young Africans as well. So that is the very reason that is the very reason some of us, remain back here at home, in the continent, and we're not running away from such problems.
Well, we appreciate all of the key insight that you shared with us today. Thank you so much for your time. My final question for you is for anyone that's looking to get in touch with you, whether they have any business inquiries, if you have any social media, how can anyone that's looking to connect with you can connect with you?
Okay, so yeah, so on socials, I'm on all socials, Elphas Saizi, that's my two names everywhere. On LinkedIn, on Instagram, any other platform. The key platforms, of course, there are, there are a lot of social platforms, but you have the major five, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok as well, because as a young person, you have to be there.
Gotta be on
There is
it.
no escape to that, yeah. But I'm so much on LinkedIn a lot. It's to me the only existing social media platform that has a great potential, in connecting with people. So you can get me that at Elphas Saizi, any day, anytime, and we can connect. If you're a startup founder, if you are a student, if you are just make doing anything that transforms lives, and makes impacts and changes, rather transform people in general. So we can always have a discussion, have a meeting, have a call, exchange numbers and emails. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. And you're definitely welcome to come on any future show. So, with that being said, my name is Edith, also known as the Lady